Ever found yourself wrestling with network configuration in RHEL 8? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to take all those confusing notes and turn them into a super simple, step-by-step guide for mastering NMCLI. This is the modern, powerful way to manage your network. So, if you're running a server, you already know that having a stable IP address isn't just nice, it's absolutely critical. I mean, all your services, your apps, your users, they all need a predictable address to connect to. So how do you lock that down and make sure it never changes? Well, that's exactly what we're about to do. You can forget about the old days of manually editing config files. In RHEL 8, the answer is Network Manager, and its amazing command line tool, NMCLI. It's the standard because it prevents conflicts, you can script with it, and honestly, it's just the most reliable way to get the job done. Let's see how it works. Ready to jump in? Here's the plan for today. We're going to start with the why, then we'll get hands-on with our first static IP, move on to more advanced stuff like multiple IPs and IPv6, and wrap up with some pro tips that'll help you dodge those common little traps. Okay, first things first. Let's quickly talk about why we're even using Network Manager in the first place. Understanding the why makes the how a whole lot easier and more intuitive down the line. The best way to think about this is like parking. DHCP is kind of like finding a random spot on the street for your laptop at a coffee shop. It's temporary, it works for now. But for your server, no way. You need a reserved, numbered parking spot that never ever changes. That's your static IP.
And this right here, this is the golden rule. Seriously, always use the network manager tools like NMCLI. This is so important because it stops other processes from stomping all over your settings and makes sure your changes actually survive a reboot.
All right, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and actually create our very first static IPv4 connection. This is the absolute bread and butter of server network setup. Okay, here we go. First, we use NMCLI con-add to create a new connection profile. We'll give it a name and link it to our network interface, ENS224 in this case. Then we set the IP address, the gateway, that's its road to the internet, and a DNS server. And now for the most important part. We have to explicitly set the method to manual. Don't forget that step. Now, let's talk about a few things that can trip you up. NMCLI is, well, it's very picky about its parameters. So getting these details exactly right is everything. For instance, it's IPv4.gateway, not GW4. A tiny typo like that can cause the whole thing to fail, and sometimes it won't even give you a clear error message. So be careful.
Once you've created your connection, you bring it to life with NMCLI con up. And then, immediately after, you check your work with IPA. This little two-step dance should become total muscle memory for you. Trust, but always verify.
Okay, but what if you need more than one IP on a single network card? Maybe you're hosting a few different websites or services. Don't worry, NMCLI makes this surprisingly easy. Let's check it out.
The secret here is that little plus sign. It's so clever. Instead of completely overriding your old IP address, that plus just tells NMCLI, hey, just add this new one to the list. Simple, clean, and really powerful, right?
And as you've probably guessed, if you want to remove an IP address, yep, you just use a minus sign. You tell it the exact IP you want to get rid of, and NMCLI handles the rest. No guesswork. Now, after you make changes like adding or removing an IP, you've got to remember to reload the configuration from the disk and then bring the connection up again for them to take effect. And, of course, what do we always do? We verify with IPA. See the pattern here? Change, apply, verify. It's the key.
You ready to level up? Let's talk about IPv6. And look, don't be scared by those super long, kind of weird-looking addresses. The process is actually almost identical to what we've just done for IPv4. Okay, there's one little thing you have to do first. You need to set a static hostname. That's a requirement. But once you've done that, it's the exact same pattern as before. We just modify our connection, we add the new IPv6 address, and, just like with IPv4, we make sure to set that method to manual. And then what? You got it. We bring up the connection and use our trusty old friend, the IPA command, to make sure that new IPv6 address is there and working just like we expect. That same verification step works perfectly for both.
So we've covered the how to do all this. Now let's talk about how to do it right. These are some pro tips that come from, making the common mistakes, and they're going to save you a ton of headaches later on.
So let's recap the best practices. always, always be explicit and set the manual method. Use the plus and minus signs. They are your friends for managing multiple IPs. And the most important habit you can possibly build, verify, verify, verify. Check your work after every single command.
And here's what to steer clear of. Try not to edit those config files by hand unless there is absolutely no other way. And please, never ever mix DHCP and static settings in the same connection profile. That is just asking for weird, unpredictable problems.
Look, if you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, let it be this. NMCLI is incredibly precise. One tiny typo in a parameter can make the whole command fail silently without giving you a good error. So double-check your spelling, double-check your syntax, and you know the drill. Verify your work.
We have really covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From a simple static IP all the way to IPv6. Let's just wrap this up with a quick summary and talk about what you can do next on your journey to mastering NMCLI.
Okay, this slide right here, this is a great one to screenshot. Think of it as your own personal NMCLI cheat sheet for all the most common tasks. Keep it on your desktop or somewhere handy because it will be a lifesaver, trust me.
You know, the absolute best way to make this stuff stick is by actually doing it. So go open a terminal on a test machine or in a VM and start practicing. Replicate what we did here. Try to break things and then try to fix them. That's how you really learn. So what are you going to build next?